The motor oil aisle has quietly split in two, and most drivers have no idea it happened. Walk into any Walmart, any AutoZone, any Advance Auto right now. You will see 20 different jugs, all wearing the same three magic words: full, synthetic, oil. They look identical. They are priced within $10 of each other, and the labels all promise the same thing: protection, performance, peace of mind. Here is the thing: that label means almost nothing anymore. Back in 1999, full synthetic meant a Group 4 polyalpha olefin base oil engineered molecule by molecule in a lab. Today, thanks to a lawsuit Castrol won against Mobil in 1999, a refined Group 3 mineral oil with a clever marketing budget can legally wear the same badge. Translation: half the bottles on that shelf are fancy dinosaur juice in a costume. And here is where it gets truly desperate. Modern engines do not forgive that anymore. Your 2.0-liter turbo, your direct-injected V6, your hybrid four-banger that shuts off at every red light, they all run hotter, leaner, and under more boundary lubrication stress than anything your dad ever drove. The oil in the sump hits temperatures north of 250 degrees Fahrenheit on a hot day in traffic. Some turbo-bearing surfaces see 400. The cheap stuff cooks, it thins, it varnishes, and then, somewhere around 80,000 miles, you start hearing that little ticking noise that costs $15,000 to silence. Here is what the dealerships will not tell you. They do not care which oil you used, they only care whether the receipt matches the maintenance interval in their warranty handbook. The actual chemistry, the part that determines whether your engine sees 300,000 miles or 300 more, is entirely on you. So today, we are doing the work nobody else will. 3 brands you need to walk past no matter how good the sale price looks, and 6 brands that will genuinely carry a modern engine through the worst heat you can throw at them. Stick around until the end, because the final brand on the protection list is the only motor oil ever clinically proven to undo wear damage that already happened to your engine. Not slow it down, reverse it. Let's get into it. Starting with the avoid list. Avoid number 1, SuperTech Full Synthetic, the Walmart house brand. Let's start with the elephant in the oil aisle. SuperTech is the cheapest full synthetic you can buy in America. A 5-quart jug in 0W20 runs you about $18. That is roughly half what the name brands charge. And for years the internet has tried to convince you it is secretly the same product. It is not. Here is the data. In independent comparison testing, Project Farm, the Lakespeed Junior Breakdowns, multiple Blackstone Labs trend reports, SuperTech consistently lands in the bottom quartile for cold start film strength and one of the highest NOAC volatility scores in the category. NOAC is the test that measures how much oil literally evaporates when you heat it to 250 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. The category leaders post numbers around 6 or 7%. SuperTech sits closer to 12. Translation: more of your oil is leaving through the PCV system as vapor instead of staying in the crankcase doing its job. And get this: SuperTech carries the API SP donut. That is the legal minimum. It does not carry Dexos 1 Gen 3. It does not carry Porsche A40. It does not carry Mercedes 229.5. It does not carry VW 502. Those approvals exist because the manufacturers themselves know API SP is a floor, not a ceiling. The real kicker is what this means for a modern turbo. The hottest spot in your engine is the turbocharger center bearing. It sees temperatures that will turn weak oil into varnish in a matter of months. SuperTech is built to a price point, not to that environment. Bottom line, if you own a Honda 1.5 Turbo, a Hyundai Theta, a Ford EcoBoost, or anything with forced induction, this is the dollar store umbrella of engine protection. It is technically an umbrella you will still get wet, but if you think SuperTech is rough, wait until you see what is hiding behind the green bottle. Avoid number 2. Quaker State Full Synthetic, the standard green jug. Now I want to be very specific here, because Shell makes a lot of products and some of them are excellent. We are talking about the regular Quaker State Full Synthetic, not the ultimate durability line, not Pennzoil, the base green and yellow $18 jug. Here is the thing: Shell owns Pennzoil. Shell also owns Quaker State. And inside Shell, those two brands have very different jobs. Pennzoil Platinum gets the pure plus gas-to-liquid base oil, the crown jewel of the company. Quaker State gets whatever is left over and a thinner additive package. It exists to hit a price point. On a Walmart end cap. The data backs this up. Used oil analyses on turbocharged applications consistently show elevated iron and aluminum wear metals when Quaker State runs past 5,000 miles. The total base number, that is the alkaline reserve that neutralizes acids from combustion, depletes faster than category leaders. In wear scar testing, it lands middle of the pack at best, bottom third at worst. And here is where it gets truly frustrating. The bottle says full synthetic. The API donut says SP. To a casual buyer, it looks identical to Pennzoil Platinum sitting 12 inches away on the same shelf. The buyer saves $4. The engine pays the difference with interest around mile 120,000. Translation, Quaker State. Full synthetic is wearing the synthetic badge but fighting in the conventional weight class. It is not dangerous to a Camry that gets oil changes every 3,000 miles like clockwork. It is absolutely the wrong choice for any modern turbocharged or direct-injected engine that asks its oil to actually do work. Quick favor before we keep going. If you are getting value out of this, hit that subscribe button and the like. It costs you nothing, and it tells the algorithm to show this to other people who are about to make a $15,000 mistake at AutoZone tomorrow morning. Back to the list. Avoid number 3, STP Full Synthetic. This one is going to ruffle some feathers because STP has been on American shelves since 1954, and the brand has serious nostalgia equity. Your grandfather used STP, your dad used STP. The red bottle feels like home. Here is what nobody mentions. STP is owned by Energizer Holdings, the battery company. They do not refine oil, they do not blend additive packages in-house, they contract manufacturing out and slap the red label on the jug. The brand survives on shelf placement, gas treatment legacy, and that famous Andy Granatelli Indianapolis sticker your uncle had on his toolbox. The data is brutal. In Project Farm's high-pressure boundary lubrication tests, STP Full Synthetic has repeatedly landed near the bottom of the field. Cold flow performance is unremarkable. The additive package shows no proprietary chemistry, no moly, no boron, no titanium in meaningful concentrations. It carries API SP. That is it. No Dexos, no European approvals. Nothing. And get this. It is frequently the cheapest full synthetic on the entire shelf. Sometimes it undercuts even SuperTech. That is not a sign of a hidden bargain. That is the market telling you exactly what it is worth. Bottom line, STP Full Synthetic is palliative care in a red bottle. It will keep an old port-injected, naturally aspirated engine alive long enough to sell the car. Put it in a modern direct-injected turbo and you are running a science experiment with your timing chain as the test subject. That is the avoid list. 3 brands, 3 different reasons, 1 shared outcome. Now, let's flip the page entirely. 6 brands that are actually worth your money. And I'm going to start with the one that sets the standard for everybody else. Protect number 1, Mobil 1 Extended Performance, also sold as Annual Protection. If there is a North Star in this category, it is Mobil 1. ExxonMobil basically invented the modern PAO synthetic motor oil business, and they have never let go of the lead. Here is the thing. Mobil 1 Extended Performance is approved by, and I want you to listen to this list, General Motors Dexos 1 Gen 3, Ford WSS-M-2-C, Chrysler MS-6-3-9-5, Mercedes-Benz 229.5, BMW Long Life 01, and Porsche A40. That is not marketing language, those are contracts. Each one of those approvals required Mobil to put the oil through hundreds of hours of engine testing in front of the manufacturer's own engineers. The cheap brands cannot do that. They will not even try. The chemistry is a blend of Group 4 PAO and Group 5 ester-based stocks with a heavy moly and ZDDP additive package. NOAC volatility sits around 8%. Shear stability under HTHS load is class-leading. ExxonMobil officially backs it for 20,000 miles between changes, and independent UOAs from Blackstone consistently show it has gas left in the tank at 15,000. Translation: this is the oil you put in the engine you actually care about. It is not the cheapest. A 5-quart jug runs around $35. That is $15 more than SuperTech. Spread that over a 6-month oil change interval, and it costs you about $2.50 a month to upgrade from the worst protection in the aisle to the best. The verdict is simple. Mobil 1 Extended Performance is the industry's North Star. Every other brand on this protection list is measured against it. Protect number 2, Pennzoil Platinum, the yellow bottle. If Mobil 1 is the North Star, Pennzoil Platinum is the alien technology. And I do not say that lightly. Here is what makes it different. Pennzoil Platinum is built on a base oil called Pure Plus. It is made from natural gas instead of crude oil. Shell built an entire multi-billion-dollar gas-to-liquid plant in Qatar specifically to produce it. The result is a base stock that is roughly 99.5% pure, meaning almost zero of the impurities, sulfur, and aromatic compounds you get from refining crude. Why does that matter? because impurities are what burn off, varnish up, and form sludge. A cleaner base oil produces a cleaner engine, period. And get this, Pennzoil Platinum posts one of the lowest NOAC volatility numbers of any mass-market synthetic on the market, under 7%. It carries Dexos 1 Gen 3, Ferrari factory fill approval, Porsche A40, and Chrysler MS 6395. Ferrari does not put their name on garbage. The real kicker is what happens in a hot turbo. Because the base oil resists evaporation so well, the additive package stays in solution longer and the oil maintains its viscosity grade well past the typical drain interval. UOAs on EcoBoost engines, Hyundai Turbos, and BMW B58s consistently show Pennzoil Platinum holding up where cheaper synthetics have already gone thin. Bottom line, if you own a modern turbo and you want the cleanest engine internals possible at the next teardown, this is the yellow bottle to grab. Bulletproof engineering at about $32 a jug. Protect number 3. Castrol Edge with titanium, the black bottle. Castrol's flagship synthetic uses something they call fluid titanium technology. And before you roll your eyes at the marketing, yes, there is actually titanium in there. It is an organometallic additive that bonds to metal surfaces under extreme pressure to form a sacrificial protective layer. Here is the thing. Castrol Edge holds one of the most comprehensive OEM approval lists in the entire category. We are talking BMW, Long Life 04, VW 502 and 505, Mercedes 229.5 and 229.31, Porsche A40, Dexos 1 Gen 3 and Ford WSS. The European approvals are the hardest to get in the industry, VW 502 especially. It is the gold standard for direct-injected turbo engines. The data shows Edge consistently posts elite numbers in high-pressure boundary lubrication tests. That matters most in the parts of your engine where two metal surfaces almost touch, the cam lobes, the timing chain pins, the rod bearings at top dead center. That is where engines fail. Castrol's titanium chemistry is specifically engineered for that environment. Translation: this is forged armor for the crankshaft. It is the oil I would point a Volkswagen owner toward without a second thought. Around $33 for a 5-quart jug at most retailers. Quick question for you all watching. I want to know what you are running in your daily driver right now and whether you have actually opened the valve cover to see the result. Drop it in the comments, brand, mileage, and what the inside of the engine looked like. I read every one of these, and the community knowledge in the comments section is honestly more valuable than half the lab tests on YouTube. Let's keep going. Protect number 4, Amsoil Signature Series. Now we are getting into the enthusiast tier. Amsoil is a Wisconsin company that has been making true Group 4 and Group 5 synthetic oil since 1972, 5 years before Mobil 1 existed. They sell mostly direct and through independent dealers, which is why you do not see them on the Walmart shelf. Here is what matters. Amsoil Signature Series is rated for 25,000 miles or 1 year between changes, whichever comes first. That is not a marketing claim. That is a written guarantee, with warranty backing, that no other major brand will match in writing. The TBN, total base number, starts around 12 and holds above 6 even at 15,000 miles in turbocharged use. For comparison, most off-the-shelf synthetics start around 8 and drop below 3 by mile 7,000. And get this, independent third-party testing, the sequence engine tests, the ASTM bench tests, consistently puts Amsoil Signature Series in the top 3 for wear protection, oxidation resistance, and deposit control. Sometimes number 1 outright. The catch is the price. Around $45 to $50 for a 5-quart equivalent. The math only works if you actually run the extended drain intervals. If you do, it ends up cheaper per mile than anything else on this list. Bottom line, Amsoil Signature Series is the Navy SEAL of motor oils. Overqualified, expensive, and absolutely worth it for the right mission. Protect number 5. Redline High Performance. Redline is the one that makes engineers smile. Their base oil is polyol ester, the same chemistry family used in jet. Turbine engine oil, not Group 4, not Group 3+. Group 5 ester, top to bottom. Here is why that matters. Polyol esters have molecular polarity, which means they actively cling to metal surfaces even when the engine is shut off and cold. The first 3 seconds of a cold start, when 90% of all engine wear happens, Redline is already on the bearings. Most other oils have drained back to the pan and are scrambling to catch up. The HTHS numbers are extreme. Thermal stability is genuinely unflinching past 300 degrees Fahrenheit. The cult following among track day drivers, autocrossers, and turbo swap builders is not a coincidence. You will find Redline in the sumps of Subaru EJs, Mitsubishi 4G63s, and Honda K20s at every road course in America. The real kicker is the additive load. Redline runs roughly double the zinc and phosphorus of a typical street oil. That is fantastic for flat tappet cams, high spring pressure builds, and anything spending time above 6,000 RPM. It is overkill for a Toyota Sienna. Translation: liquid Kevlar for the valve train. If you track your car, autocross, or own anything turbocharged that you actually push, Redline is the answer. Around $55 for a 5-quart equivalent. It is not for everyone. For the people it is for, nothing else compares. Protect number 6. Valvoline Restore and Protect. And this is the one I teased at the start. Save the best for last. Valvoline Restore and Protect launched in 2024, and it is genuinely the first new thing to happen in motor oil chemistry in about a decade. Here is the thing. Every other oil on this list, every single one, including Mobil 1 and Pennzoil Platinum, is designed to prevent new deposits from forming. Restore and Protect is the first mass-market motor oil clinically proven to actively remove the deposits that are already there. We are talking about the carbon and varnish baked onto your piston ring lands after 100,000 miles of normal driving. The stuff that causes oil consumption, blow-by, and that morning puff of blue smoke. Restore and Protect dissolves it. Over the course of about 4 oil change intervals, it cleans the rings back to factory condition. And get this, Valvoline did not just claim it. They published the data, ran the ASTM sequence 3H deposit test, and showed measurable improvement in piston cleanliness compared to baseline. It carries Dexos 1 Gen 3 and full API SP. The detergent chemistry is doing real work. The real kicker is who this is for. If you bought a used car with 140,000 miles and you do not know its oil change history, this is your move. 4 changes of Restore and Protect over the next 40,000 miles will measurably extend the life of an engine that was already on its way out. No other oil on the market makes that claim with clinical backing. Bottom line, Restore and Protect is the only oil that pays its rent backwards. It cleans up the previous tenant's mess. About $34 a jug, worth every cent on the right car. The motor oil aisle is a battlefield between chemistry and marketing. On one side, you have brands that exist because of refinery contracts, shelf placement, and a price point. SuperTech, Quaker State, STP. They wear the words full synthetic because a court case in 1999 made it legal to. They will not kill your engine in 3 months. They will quietly subtract years from its life, and you will never connect the dots. On the other side, you have actual chemistry. Mobil 1, Pennzoil Platinum, Castrol Edge, Amsoil Signature Series, Redline, Valvoline Restore and Protect. These are oils built by companies that own their base stock, blend their own additives, submit to OEM approval testing, and stand behind the result. They cost between $10 and $25 more per oil change than the cheap stuff. That is the difference. Between a coffee at Starbucks twice a month and a $15,000 engine replacement at 140,000 miles. Here is the final wisdom, and I want you to actually hear this one. The cheapest insurance policy you will ever buy on a modern engine is the upgrade from a bottom-tier synthetic to a top-tier synthetic. It is roughly $2.50 a month. That is it. That is the entire conversation. Skip 1 drive-through coffee per oil change and you have funded the upgrade for the year. There is no other maintenance decision in car ownership with that kind of return on investment. If you drive a turbo, a direct-injected engine, a hybrid that constantly cold starts, or anything you plan to keep past 150,000 miles, Mobil 1 Extended Performance, Pennzoil Platinum, or Castrol Edge with titanium are your 3 safest answers. If you bought a used car with a sketchy maintenance history, run Valvoline Restore and Protect for the next 4 changes and thank me later. If you track your car or own a built engine, Redline. If you want to do 1 oil change a year and forget about it, Amsoil Signature Series. And whatever you do, walk past the $18 jug. The savings are not real. Hit subscribe if you want the truth about what is actually going into your crankcase in 2026. I am putting out a full investigation next week on the 3 air filter brands that are quietly destroying mass airflow sensors across America. You do not want to miss it. Drop a comment with what you are running right now. And as always, drive smart, spend smart, and do not let the dealership write the story of your engine.